There's something mysterious about Sigma males. You've seen them, the quiet ones who don't follow the crowd. They're calm, observant, and always seem to have things under control. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Sigma males are not heartless. They're not emotionless robots walking through life without feeling. They do care. They do feel. They're just incredibly selective about who gets to see that side. But even the most guarded Sigma has moments, rare, powerful moments, when their walls come down. And when it happens, it changes everything. Welcome back to Alpha Man Cave, the place where we decode the rarest minds and strongest personalities. If you're into understanding deep psychology, personal strength, and Sigma truths, hit that subscribe button and join the tribe. Now, let's break down the only moments when Sigma males truly drop their guard, and why they matter more than most people will ever understand. 1. When someone shows up with nothing to gain. Sigma males are always watching, not in a creepy way, but in a calculating way. They pay attention to why people do things, not just what they say. They've seen too many fake friendships. Too many people who only show up when it's fun, easy, or when there's something in it for them. But if you're the kind of person who shows up when there's nothing to gain, no reward, no spotlight, no praise, that stuns a Sigma. Because you're doing something rare. You're being present without expectation. Sigma males live in a world where loyalty often comes with a price tag. So, when someone shows up and stays, with no hidden motives, it shatters a deep belief they've carried. That people only stick around when they're benefiting. That's when the first crack in the armor appears. Not because you said something magical, but because you proved, without words, that you're real. 2. When they realize you've been betrayed too. There's a kind of pain that doesn't scream, it just sits there, quietly. And Sigma males carry that kind of pain. They've been betrayed before, lied to, used, or abandoned, so they know what it looks like in someone else. If you've been through that same kind of betrayal, you don't need to say it. They'll see it in how you carry yourself. You're not trying too hard. You're not desperate to be liked. You're not faking happiness. And that quiet recognition of someone who's been through the same emotional fire is where a Sigma starts to connect. They don't trust people who try to fix them, but they do trust people who've also been broken, healed, and chose not to turn bitter. That shared survival creates a deep bond, not built on sympathy, but mutual understanding. You didn't beg for their trust, and that's exactly why you earned it. 3. When you never try to use them. Sigma males are independent by design. They don't like being controlled, manipulated, or used. But here's the problem. They often are. People attach themselves to Sigmas for the wrong reasons. To borrow their strength. To gain status. To feel protected. So they've become experts at spotting manipulation. That's why when someone comes into their life and doesn't try to pull strings, test boundaries, or get something in return, they notice. You didn't flatter them to get on their good side. You didn't pretend to be close so you could use them later. You were just there. A human, not a strategy. That kind of genuine presence breaks through their defenses more than charm ever could. Because most people operate with hidden motives. But you didn't bring an angle. You brought honesty. And for a Sigma, that makes you unforgettable. 4. When you're honest, even when it costs you. Most people are honest when it's easy. But real honesty, the kind that risks being disliked or misunderstood, is rare. And that's the kind of honesty Sigma males respect the most. You didn't just tell them what they wanted to hear. You told them the truth, even if it was awkward, uncomfortable, or risky. Maybe you spoke up when no one else would. Maybe you admitted a mistake instead of covering it up. Or maybe you just refused to fake a smile when you were hurting. Sigma males don't trust people who seem perfect. They trust the ones who are real. You didn't use honesty like a weapon. You used it like a mirror. You didn't sugarcoat reality. You just laid it out with quiet strength. That kind of truth earns you their respect, yes. But it also earns their guarded trust. Because if you're honest with others, you're probably honest with yourself. And that kind of clarity is powerful. 5. When you make them feel understood, without trying to be right. Sigma males spend a lot of time in their heads. They observe, analyze, and think deeply, often without saying much out loud. But here's the thing. Most people don't really listen. They interrupt, correct, debate, or try to fix the Sigma's thoughts. But if you're someone who listens, really listens, without trying to change their mind or improve their thinking, that hits different. It shows respect. Not the loud kind, not the flashy kind, but the kind that says, I hear you. I don't need to change you. Sigma males don't want cheerleaders or critics. They want someone who can sit with their thoughts, without trying to reshape them. You didn't push your opinion. You didn't make them defend themselves. You just let them be. And in a world full of noise, that kind of stillness is unforgettable. That's the moment they relax, not because they were right, but because they didn't have to prove anything. So, when does a Sigma male finally drop his guard? Not when you demand it. Not when you try to unlock it. But when you earn it, quietly, naturally, and without force. Because for Sigma males, it's not about who talks the most, smiles the biggest, or tries the hardest. It's about authenticity. It's about presence without pressure. And most of all, it's about being real, when being fake would be so much easier. If you saw yourself in any of these points, then trust me, you're already closer to a Sigma's world than you realize. If this spoke to you, join the Alpha Man Cave by subscribing right now. Don't forget to hit that like button and drop a comment about which point hit you the hardest. Thanks for being here, and as always, stay strong and keep evolving.